Hello, I'm SimmingInOz, and I honestly don't know how many times I've said this, but I really don't like the canon properties in the Harry Potter movie series. Like, if you've ever seen Lovegood house in the Harry Potter series, what is that? What is that? Like, I understand they're going for a theme, but a lot of their exteriors are just, oh, forgive me, they're so boring and they're not colourful and they're not whimsical. Like, think back to the first, I suppose, 2 or 3 maybe Harry Potter movies. Everything was so whimsical and bright and colourful, and the music helped and everything. And then at some point in the series, it really took a turn. And that's a big gripe I have with the later movies, in that, God, they get so dark. And I understand they're going for a theme. They got, like, the world's going to crap. The war's coming, there's Death Eaters everywhere, blah, 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 blah. And we're trying to set a tone. And it's also Scotland, so it's not like it's sunny in the first place. But man, I miss whimsy and childlike wonder within those first few movies, which is why they're some of my favourites. So, apart from all that, I'm going into this build of Lovegood House going, know what? Nope, Canon can go sit in the corner. I'm going to do my own thing. So we're doing Lovegood House, where, so the occupants of this place is obviously the Lovegood family. So you've got Luna, and I basically themed a lot of the interiors around Luna with the colour scheme of like lovely, sort of like, it's very pale pastels kind of thing. There's a lot of lovely pale blues, paisley blues, and some creams, and some lovely creamy golden colours based on around her hair and everything. And then I also fit in some lovely, pinks and some greens here and there. And as you can see from the outside, it's bold, but I wanted it to be, say, a house that's been renovated very lovingly by her parents. So you've got her dad, and then her mum is sort of sprinkled into this place, even though her mum is a ghost and passed away at this point. I felt like I wanted to really encapsulate that the house is somewhere where a family grew up. A family was established here, and Luna grew up here, and this is where a lot of happy memories took place, regardless if the mum is still alive or not. So it's been lovingly taken care of. It's got a lot of character. It's got a lot of beauty and bright colours, and I didn't want to put like a lick of darkness into it. I love my dark wood tones, I love my blacks, I love my browns and my sort of chestnut colours, but I wanted to stay right away from those colours with this build, so I went a bit bold. The green was a surprise to even me, because I'm like, am I going to add green? Guess I am. Because the green was just so lovely with this red brick terracotta kind of colour, and then I add in some yellow and everything, and then I'm like, okay, yeah, no, this is a choice. I like to think that in the younger years of her marriage, Pandora, and I can't ever pronounce this man's name. Nah, I'm not even going to try. I like to think that in the early years of their marriage, they bought this place. It's only like a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom kind of thing with a basement, but it's so lovely, and I feel like they really sort of built it up from something that was a little ramshackle to something that's really absolutely gorgeous. And I really love like the really tall fireplace on the side of the house, and then I tried to give the illusion that the rest of the house was just tall. I did take that aspect of the canon property in mind. Lovegood House in the canon movies is actually quite odd shaped, and it's tall, it's a bit quirky, and while this is very structured, I still wanted it to look quite narrow and tall at the same time. So I did try my best to sort of, shrink everything down a little bit. Another thing is that the landscape played in heavily into this build. I had a vision, not so much of the inside, but of the outside and what I was going to achieve. So I popped down the house and I did the exterior, and I was really happy with it. But what I was most excited to get into was the nature around the house, because I really wanted to utilize the tool mod for the exterior of the home. So I've always wanted to do a meadow surrounding a house, and there's a few very specific plants within the game that I really wanted to use. One of them is the sunflowers, which you get somewhere, maybe cottage living, I can't say for sure, but the sunflowers. And I also really wanted to use the absolutely gorgeous, it's like this oh god, what is it? It's like an orangey red. It reminds me of poppies, and it comes with the Life and Death pack, and I desperately have been wanting to use those flowers in some kind of build. And I was sort of just biding my time. So when I made the decision to make Lovegood House an absolutely cottagecore, colourful dream and everything, I was like, okay, in terms of exterior, I want to go beyond the borders of the actual lot itself. So tool mod is going to be involved, and I want to just make a massive, like hip height flower garden with absolutely as many flowers as I could possibly fit in here. Not so much like it's a farm or anything. I've seen a lot of simmers do like sunflower farms, which I love, by the way. I've got to do a sunflower farm at some point because they look absolutely gorgeous. This, however, isn't a farm. It's a property it's just like basically Pandora's gone out there with her wand and she's just gone flowers everywhere as far as the eye can see. And I really wanted it to just, it was perfect because if you look at the area surrounding the property, it actually has a lovely fence surrounding a little bit of it in the far distance. And then I'm popping down flowers now, and you can actually just imagine what it would look like if I absolutely went ham and filled in the whole pasture with as many flowers as I possibly could. This is me just testing it out because I didn't want to go and put a lot of effort into it if it wasn't going to look good. So this is me just in the testing phase. And I wasn't quite sure how bold I was going to go with this. And then I absolutely loved the idea of adding in some really lovely autumn trees. I feel like the orangey autumn trees really offset the, it sort of blended the brightness of the house into the actual landscape, because at the moment the house is like blaringly obvious. Like you could zoom out and go, wow, that house is really colourful. So I'm sort of trying to blend in the whole property to absolutely be really, really colourful, not just the house itself. So I'm going in with my poppy flowers or whatever they are. I love them so much. I love them. They could be weeds and I'd still love them. I think they're absolutely gorgeous. I also put a lot of effort into, I didn't want the flowers to look too uniform, so some of them are quite shrunk down, some of them are sized up, and while I'm trying to cover the absolute entirety of the lot, I didn't want it to be too uniform, so you sort of got to like put a lot down and then you have to change the direction of the flower, or else you're just gonna, from one angle, you'll have all the sunflowers looking at you, but if you go to the back of the house, they're all turning the wrong way. So you really do have to go through and go, okay, rotate now, rotate now, and different sizes, just try and, make it look a little bit organic. And at this point, I was like, okay, we're getting there. We're almost done. No. I was underestimating how ham I was willing to go on this, because I stick with this flower theme for a really long time, and it's like I love the little pot plants I did on the pathway leading up to the place. Like there's already flowers everywhere, but I just loved that they took the time to get those lovely little terracotta pot plant thingies and just put down even more plants, a little bit of variation, a little bit of personality into the walkway leading up to the property. Loved that. And I also toyed with the idea of giving them a little market stall just like at the front of their house. But you know what? I've done that a few times. I've done it with Minerva McGonagall. I don't know if I've done it with the Weasleys, not sure, but I feel like I've done that once or twice, and I think that's enough. Look, I would love to lean into the cottagecore aspect of this family, but I was really just looking for, this is going to sound weird, I wanted the flowers to be the centerpiece of the property, so I didn't want to clutter up other areas of the property with too much stuff. So they were lucky to get a swing set in the backyard, because I was like, okay, I want the flowers to be the centerpiece. I don't want to be distracted by like any letterbox or front gate or anything. No, it's basically just house and meadow, and that's it. And it's simplistic in its complexity, if that makes sense. I did also put down this little gnome sign, which I just liked it. Now at this point in the build, I was basically like, okay, I could leave it here and be satisfied. However, I want to put down some more flowers to actually extend out the meadow beyond the borders of the actual lot. So here I am just popping down a lot of flowers with the intention that I'm going to get out the tool mod and I'm going to actually manually move every single flower out a bit, so it actually extends the meadow out. And I love the flowers. I don't even know what they are, but they're big clumps of flowers. It's got some grass, it's got some little white flowers in there. I think they break up the yellow and the red absolutely beautifully, and they're not overstated either. They're a little bit dull, they're creamy. And I love how they are as a space filler. And obviously I've sped up the video so you don't have to watch me go through the tool mod aspect of this build in real time, because my God, it took forever. Like, I was like flagging at this point. I'm like, I'm so tired. I'm so tired. There's so many flowers. I've been working on this lawn forever. It's not ending, but we get there in the end, and I adore it. I adore it, and it's so Luna Lovegood. This is the kind of house Luna Lovegood should have had. Director of Harry Potter, take note. This is a Luna Lovegood house, not whatever really depressing monstrosity they gave her in the movies. Are you kidding me? Anywho, I'm not going to get too passionate about that. But I love it, and as you can see, it's coming to the end of it now, and you can see how much of a beautiful effect is to take it from the borders of the property and extend it out to the nature and pasture around the property. Oh, it's beautiful. Anywho, we're going to jump inside in a moment, but yeah, no, I'm good with it. I'm not too fussed that I gave them a sort of, it's like a lamppost, but it's sort of like a little industrial coal miner town lamppost. I'm not sure what it is, but I don't mind that I gave them some electricity. I also gave them a TV inside. I'm not fussed about it. You know what? I'm not fussed, because at the end of the day, it is a Sims game, and while I do want to stick to canon, I don't think they have very much to do. Like, I'm not even someone who likes to sit down and watch TV, but I feel I wanted to give The Sims something to do. Now, we're moving on inside, and as I've mentioned before, the theme of the indoors is you don't want to see any brown. Like, usually I love my brown wooden furniture, but no, I was going with the blues, I was going with the greens, I was going with the lovely cream colours, and I think the gold on the light fixtures was absolutely lovely. It's got like this lantern kind of effect, and I really like it. It's absolutely lovely. Me going in with my like 3 pot plants that I use for every single build, and I always put them like next to one another. Another thing I irrationally loved was I loved the chair, the random chair I put in the foyer. I actually put a pillow on that chair, and I was just, it was so simple, but I was like, mwah, I'm a genius. I was not. And I'm just like, okay, all right, fine, that's nice. Like, unreasonably proud of myself. I loved the idea that this house was also really cluttered. Like, she's Pandora, the mum, the deceased mum. She spent a lot of time hand painting everything, so everything's got like this lovely hand painted effect, and it's in these lovely little colors, and there's lots of books everywhere, and there's lots of flowers and crafty stuff, and just lots of clutter. I wanted it to feel quite lived in, because Luna's parents are, I imagine, he's a journalist. He has his magazine, which, you know, he prints and everything. That's his passion. So I believe he's in the journalism career. And then her mum, unsure, but I do know, the only thing we really know about her is that she died in a potion making accident, or she was spellcrafting or something. It was in the basement, I assume. Maybe I'm getting that from fan fiction, not sure, but she is dead. So they're very much a work from home family, so I wanted their home to feel very lived in, but could also pass as, say, their workplace. And so I was just basically wanting it to be very cluttered, lovingly cluttered, but also very eclectic. So I love the tile I had in the bathroom, by the way. Oh my God. I think this is also the first time I've used the wallpaper that I'm doing in the kitchen and the lounge room. That like Dorothy Gale checker kind of lovely blue wallpaper. Why have I not used this before? It's gorgeous. I feel like I get very set in my ways in terms of what wallpapers I actually like to use. Like, everyone has their favorite items, though I'm sort of worried all my builds are going to look the same because I just keep using the same things. Anywho, at the very least, I know all my Harry Potter houses are on brand, because while they have variations in furniture. They're at least styled very similarly, so that's fine. I can live with that. But I didn't give them a fireplace. I just gave them a little tea kettle oven, which I thought was really cute. I'm sticking to my blues. It's very Ravenclaw, which I love, and I love the new curtains we've gotten with the nature pack. That's so gorgeous. I haven't used much of the nature pack yet. I haven't even played the world yet. I don't play things. I wish I could. I don't have time. But yes, it's a very lovely cluttered blue lounge room, and I absolutely love it. Ooh. And then honestly, in terms of the kitchen and the dining room, it's pretty same. It's reminding me of the Tonks family a little bit. So it's basically that circular table with those little different coloured chairs, which is very Burrow with the Weasleys as well. So that's a sort of running through line with these builds. Another thing I also really love, now that I've moved all of my Harry Potter lots to the same neighbourhood, I love the neighbours that are surrounding this lot. Like this is, they're all sort of clustered together. So say for example, you'll find a lot of the pureblood families and the Goody families in the same neighbourhood. So the Longbottoms are literally just down the road from this property, and then the Burrow is also in the distance as well, and so is Shell Cottage. And then if you look very further in the distance, you'll see the Malfoys, which is so fun. And I love how they're all like clustered together in their different houses. The Malfoys are sticking out like a sore thumb though. But I've gone through and I've actually just, catered to each property and made sure they blended into the new world, which was really fun. I love my little lore building. But honestly, this particular lot is a bright spot in the neighborhood. Not to say that, the Burrow's not quite bright as well. It's real bright, but it's bright in a different way. It's bright in that woodsy tone kind of way, whereas this is a lot more of a kind of, I don't know, it's a cool, whimsical kind of thing. So it's lots of blues and greens, which I quite love, and it's very natural. Whereas the Burrow is very worn, but it's very warm tones and everything. So this is definitely a bit of a variation on that. However, they are quite similar. But going upstairs, really simple. Like I struggled a little bit with the floor plan for this place because I was like, it's so small. How do I do this? So basically what I did was I decided to give Luna her own room and that they'd share a bathroom upstairs, and there's only like one bathtub in the whole property, and that's upstairs. So there's only one place they can actually shower. And then I decided I wanted the dad, Xenophilius, is that it? Oh, I try not to overthink it. I don't know, maybe that's his name. Not sure, I can't pronounce it still, maybe. But he's, I decided to give him like an office within his bedroom. So there's a little offshoot where he has his, an office where he does, the writing for the magazine, I assume. And then obviously I had to give them a basement. Typically I don't give the people in the Harry Potter world a basement unless you're the Malfoys, who have like basements for days. And so I decided they needed a basement because obviously the mum, I think, died in the basement from a potions accident. Am I remembering this correctly? Like, you know what? I'm not even gonna fuss. It's fine. Oh my god. So Luna's room, oh my god, she gets the princess bedroom. She has to. I don't even care if it's like too girly for her. I wanted whimsy. I wanted that lovely bed and that unicorn and a little crafty table and the little castle dollhouse that's way too big that I sized down, and I don't even care. It's a little sad. She has like a friendship bracelet thing, but I don't know if Luna has friends. God, I'm terrible. So yeah, this is the dad's office, and it's basically it's too wide by like 5 or 6, so it's small, but I wanted it to be really cluttered. I wanted it to feel like this man slaves away in there, and this is probably one of the only times I'm ever going to use the nature pack bed. It's like this big canopy bed. It's literally a tree. Oh my god, you know what it reminds me of actually? If I could never, but I recently watched Epic the Musical for the first time. Didn't watch it, pardon me, I listened to it, and then I watched all the animatics. The only time I would ever use a bed that's basically a tree is if I was making an Epic the Musical house for Odysseus and his family, because it's a whole thing, you know, like he comes home and the bed is meant to be like, I carved this bed with my blood and sweat. You don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm sorry. Maybe you do. It's vague. Not everyone's seen that, but you know, it reminds me of that. So it's so fun, but I'm probably never going to use that bed again. It's gorgeous. It is gorgeous. It's probably just a little bit too naturey for me. I have a thing about, like you can have nature inside, absolutely, but it has to be in a pot plant. It can't just be growing everywhere, especially on my bed. No. Okay, we're coming to the end of it now. I think we're basically up. This is just me filling up the walls and everything. And I basically just, I gave them like the most basic laundry you could ever imagine in your whole life. And then I've decided to give the mum, Pandora, a little workroom. But the workroom is very specific because obviously the lady of the house died in this room and it's very tragic, I assume. So I basically put like a big hole in the floor and the room's falling apart a little bit, but I feel like when she passed and they took care of everything and they had the funeral, they basically locked up this room so no one else could use it. And I think they're just sort of leaving it as is. Like, obviously they're cleaned up and everything, but it's still got the damage to the room and it's not something they're really willing to process right now. I like to think that Luna's dad is very grieved about the loss of his wife. It's very tragic and everything, and he doesn't quite know how to go on without her, bless his heart. So I think it's a little bit of a shrine. Oh my god, it's really occurring to me. That's a running theme in a lot of my Harry Potter builds, because I'm now thinking about it, and it's like the Lovegoods have a room where that's dedicated to the dead. The Longbottoms have a room that's dedicated to Neville's parents. Harry has an entire cottage that's just a tomb for his parents, and obviously where Voldemort perished the first time and everything. And yeah, and then there's also my god, Sirius has a whole house dedicated to his dead family. My god. Okay. There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot. So, dead people's a running theme. I actually recently just went in and I made all the ghosts for the Harry Potter save. I made so many dead people. You have no idea. I'll pop out a video about it, but basically all the Hogwarts ghosts, Minerva's ex-husband, Dumbledore's sister, and a lot of dead people. So I went in and I filled in all the gaps because that's something that was missing. But really, that's the end of the Lovegood house. I hope you enjoyed it. Isn't it lovely? It's cute. It's fun. And I feel like it's not too centered on Harry Potter and the Lovegoods. Like, you could just pop down this house and live in it. And it'd be super cute for like a little magical family or something, or a little single person who's just starting out in the magical world. Love it! Anywho, if you like this video, feel free to like and subscribe, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. Not sure what it's going to be, but I'll let that be a surprise. Okay, bye!